Nikki Haley has brought in significant shares of the vote in several GOP primaries, even though she dropped out of the race back in March.
And the former ambassador to the UN has not endorsed former President Donald Trump. Meanwhile, Trump is denying reports that Haley is on his VP shortlist. He said on social media that she's not under consideration, but he did wish her well.
CBS News political reporter Zak Hudak is following this from Washington, from our Washington bureau. Zak, good to see you. Okay, so Trump responds. He responds swiftly. He denies he is considering Nikki Haley as his VP. What do you make of it?
Tony, I think this is an example of the former president really liking to have control of his own narrative. And he's particularly good at controlling the way that he gets covered. So he saw this being talked about after this report, and he puts out this statement. But it's important to look at the language he used. He said she is not under consideration. He did not say she was never under consideration. And all the other statements we got from the Trump campaign did the same thing. They were a little bit precise in that they weren't clear. So it is very possible she was under consideration. And the other thing to note here is Donald Trump is really good at playing into these narratives. So at that event he held last night, he had Governor Doug Burgum there with him. He praised Burgum extensively, and then he said, get ready for something after praising him. So he was teasing a guy who seems like he would be an awfully far long shot to be the VP contender as a VP contender on that very day, just following that report about Haley.
Hey, Zach, staying on the Haley topic, things, I wouldn't call them, straight up nasty, but they got conflictive at times between Trump and Haley during the primaries. What would it take for her to endorse him, and how meaningful would that be?
Given she said he's not fit to be president.
Yeah, but that's an opinion. Things can get nastier when it comes to Trump. I mean, people throw insults.
The reality of the situation is it did get very nasty between the two of them, as you both mentioned correctly. However, for Nikki Haley, this is someone who is a lifetime politician and who understands the political calculus here. She wants to have a political future, and that political future gets very, very narrow if she does not come around and endorse the former president eventually, simply because of the coalition that he's built within the Republican Party. So I think what it really comes down to is when Nikki Haley gets to the point that she is going to get the most politically out of that endorsement. It's more of a matter of when than if that endorsement comes.
But do you see a significant number of voters that are Haley people that would impact Trump? I mean, is that base still there?
There is most definitely a base there. Even after Nikki Haley dropped out of the race in several battleground states, she still got double digits of the vote. Among them in Indiana, 22%, Pennsylvania, 17%, Michigan, 27%. So these are significant parts of the electorate that are more moderate voters that could be won over by the Biden campaign. We're seeing in the Philly suburbs the Biden campaign actually targeting in ads those voters and showing times where Donald Trump was critical of Nikki Haley. We're also seeing the Biden campaign double down on reproductive rights, an issue that moderate voters, particularly those suburban moderate voters, care tremendously about. So the Biden campaign sees an opportunity here to try to prey on those voters, and the Trump campaign will be trying to win them back for the Republican Party.
Zak Hudak, Zak, thank you very much.